good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Aparna and Nagma, for really setting the stage for us to introduce the process and the story to you this afternoon. But before we do that, perhaps a small round of introduction for us to uh, tell you who we are and where we come from.
Hi, I think most of you might know me. My name is Sukhreet, and I lead the Community Resilience and Climate Action portfolio at Edelgive. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nilansha and I lead the Women Empowerment portfolio at Edelgive.
My name is Payaswini. I'm with the Tata Trusts, and I look at multiple themes that the trusts work on and support strategy, research, grant making, analysis. Thank you.
Namaste, I'm Kalyan. Currently, I'm working with Swissaid, leading its climate change and natural resource management portfolio. Before going to Swissaid, I worked with Tata Trust, and I'm as much an insider to Tata Trust as I'm an outsider. And yeah,
अभी अपर्णा और नगमा ने एक बात कही थी, उससे मुझे ऐसा लगा कि हम एज डोनर्स आप लोगों से प्रपोजल मांगते हैं। आज हम आपके पास एक प्रपोजल प्रेजेंट करेंगे आपके फीडबैक के लिए, आपके क्रिटिक के लिए। तो प्लीज़ बी पेशेंट विद अस एज वी सॉर्ट ऑफ टॉक यू थ्रू व्हाट रियली वेंट बिहाइंड व्हेन टू टीम्स केम टुगेदर। एंड हम इसको एक बातचीत के तौर पे ही कोशिश करेंगे आपके साथ शेयर करने के लिए। तो होपफुली वील बी एबल टू कन्वे टू यू how this is a labor of love, friendship, reflection, and a lot of internal contestations even within us. Because I think this process started with the recognition that all of the organizations that the trusts work with, that the Edelgive Foundation works with, work on really complex issues of social change. And therefore, contending with large questions like gender and climate change requires us to acknowledge the deeply complicated, nuanced contexts in which all of you work. और जो हमारी कोशिश रही है वो सबसे पहले उस acknowledgement के साथ शुरुआत हुई. So with that, I would like to invite कल्याण actually to share with us. आप कल्याण हमें ये बताइए कि इसकी शुरुआत कहाँ से हुई, बातचीत कहाँ से शुरू हुई और ईडल टीम के साथ टाटा ट्रस्ट टीम की किस तरह की डिस्कशंस रही थी?
yeah. So the process was started well before I became part of it. And I am also very curious to know, what really triggered the Tata Trust team and Edelgive team to, feel so much connected with the climate change and gender and, start working on it. And I'm sure, all of us, rather most of us would feel connected with the cause, the climate change, gender, using those two lenses in our work. And, understanding that story would be so much interesting. So, understanding why this discussion got triggered or why are we so connected with it is something even I am curious about. I can tell you the part of story, which I have seen or, I've witnessed. So that story started with a kickoff meeting at Tata Trust where Ahmed, came and, he shared the vision that we would like to decode the lens of climate change and gender, particularly for the community, all of us who are working at the grassroots and in various directions through several interventions. So how does this theme of climate change and gender interacts with each other as well as relate to our work? So that was the kickoff discussion, and then both the teams worked extensively. They shared their notes with each other, and the final product that we are going to discuss today, it evolved through those several discussions. The idea really was, basically simplifying the concepts themselves, then also coming up with a sort of a checklist or an assessment tool which can help us understand where we stand now. Then also explore what are the actionable points, what actions can we take, and what are we already doing. So that was the second part. And the third part was really conceptualizing, because we are talking about so many things. We are talking about climate change, resources, livelihoods, access, gender, lot of factors we are the components we are talking about. So how do we, bring them together was another part of the process. And I think, yeah, both the teams worked really well on that, and we have the product with us now, which is still a work in progress, and a lot more efforts need to get into that. Yeah.
This process was almost like a relay race embedded within a marathon. So this is a journey that we are all on, but we also passed the batons between our two organizations, right? So Sukrit and Nilansha, if you could share with us after this first conversation with the Tata Trusts, we shared our perspective, and of course, the foundation has its own experiences and a large cohort of organizations. What is it that you took back and started working on in terms of your process, your research? And perhaps equally importantly, what were some guiding principles that you had to center to make this tool something that we could offer to our colleagues here?
Yes, thank you. I think after the first consultation that our team had, Ahmed from our team was in your office, and when he came back and he briefed us that this is the discussion, we had, I think, multiple iterations. We went through, I think, research documents at the global level, at the national level. We went through academic papers, some of the practitioner level papers, trying to see if there are already some intersections, some work which is already done. And then we, after these multiple discussions, we decided that before we begin into having the toolkit, we definitely need to set some guiding principles which will form the foundation of how the final toolkit will look like. And so on, we decided that, okay, after this research, let's go on and frame some of the guiding principles. And then we framed this document. And why don't you tell some of the examples?
Yeah, so when we were drafting the zero draft, the first document that came out of it, uh, I think the first guiding principle that we followed was कि हम लोगों को लगता है कि अगर मैं एजुकेशन में काम कर रहा हूँ तो मैं जेंडर में काम नहीं कर रहा, या मैं अगर किसी और स्पेस में काम कर रहा हूँ तो मैं क्लाइमेट से कनेक्टेड नहीं हूँ. मगर फैक्ट ये है कि जो हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं वो सोशियो इकोनॉमिक नेचर के बीचों बीच हैं, मार्केट सब जगह से कनेक्टेड हैं. तो देर इज़ नो वे दैट प्रोग्राम्स डोंट हैव इंटरसेक्शनैलिटीज़. एक इंटरसेक्शनैलिटी एलिमेंट है, और हो सकता है कि हम क्योंकि एक स्पेसिफिक थीम पे फोकस कर रहे हैं तो हम देख नहीं पाते कि हमारा क्या हम हमारे जो आउटकम्स के फॉल आउट्स हैं वो क्या हो सकते हैं अनइंटेंडेड. तो ये टूल हमने जो सोचा था वो हमने सोचा था कि प्रिस्क्रिप्टिव नहीं होगा. ये टूल होगा जिससे हम रिफ्लेक्ट कर पाएँ एज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कि कहाँ है, क्या मैं सही में जेंडर में कुछ काम कर रहा हूँ और मुझे पता नहीं है, या कर रही हूँ और मुझे पता नहीं है, क्या मैं क्लाइमेट में कुछ काम कर रही हूँ और मैंने सोचा ही नहीं इस बारे में. तो हमने सोचा था कि ये एक गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल होगा. दूसरा, हम बहुत ही अवेयर थे कि हम अपने ऑफिस में बैठे हैं जहाँ पे एसी है और हमारे पास इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है जो कटती नहीं है, और ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में नहीं काम कर रहे. ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस रिसोर्स कंस्ट्रेंट्स में काम करते हैं, रिसोर्सेज लिमिटेड होती हैं, तो ये दिस शुड नॉट बी अनदर डॉक्यूमेंट जो बर्डन करे उनको. इट शुड बी अ डॉक्यूमेंट दैट एनेबल्स, और इस रिसोर्स कंस्ट्रेंट को हम मद्देनजर रखते हुए हमने ये गाइडलाइन डिफाइन किया था. तीसरा, it was we wanted to create a document that has a lot of scope for ensuring community buy-in. जब तक, और ये चीज़ हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हमेशा बोलती है कि नहीं होगा, कम्युनिटी नहीं मानेगी. सो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि ये डॉक्यूमेंट उतना अजाइल हो, उतना लचीला हो कि कम्युनिटी एक्चुअली इसको एक्सेप्ट कर पाए, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इसको अपने हिसाब से कस्टमाइज कर पाए कम्युनिटी के हिसाब से. तो ये थोड़ी कुछ गाइडलाइंस थी ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ विच हमने ये नोट क्रिएट किया.
नीलांशा, मुझे याद है आपसे बातचीत हुई थी तो आपने कहा था कि रिलेटेड पॉइंट पे ही कि एक तो इंक्लूसिवनेस, उस टूल की डाइवर्सिटी, और ये टोन की ये एक्सपर्टीज़ वाला टूल नहीं है बल्कि एक पार्टिसिपेटरी टूल है, जहाँ कोई टॉप डाउन नॉलेज गिविंग नहीं है कि क्लाइमेट चेंज का अर्थ ये है या जेंडर का अर्थ ये. थोड़ा सा आप उस पर भी अगर बात करें कि उसके पीछे आपका क्या एफर्ट रहा?
हाँ, आई मीन ये हमारे लिए थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग भी था क्योंकि कई बार हम हमारे जहन में, हमारे दिमाग में होता है, हमको पता होता है कि क्या अर्थ किसी भी चीज़ का है, और वो अर्थ आई मीन मल्टीपल डेफिनेशंस होते हैं, हर एक थीम के डेफिनेशंस मल्टीपल होते हैं। इसलिए दो टीम्स का आना ज़रूरी भी था, क्योंकि हमारा जो डेफिनेशंस था वो हो सकता है कि हो सकता है क्या नहीं था टाटा ट्रस्ट की टीम्स का एंड वी और वो जो कॉन्वर्सेशंस थी वहाँ से फिर वी वर एबल टू एक्चुअली क्रिएट वी वर एक्चुअली एबल टू शेड ऑफ द बर्डन ऑफ जजमेंट्स। और वो आई थिंक ये जो प्रोसेस था जिसमें हम लोग एक दूसरे से कम्युनिकेट किए, वी वर एबल टू हैव मल्टीपल ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशंस, वी वर एबल टू एक्चुअली थ्रू द एवोल्यूशन ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो आप आगे भी देखेंगे, हम एक शेयर्ड अंडरस्टैंडिंग पे है, बट ऑल्सो एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ये भी थी कि थीम्स के आई मीन किसी भी जार्गन के मल्टीपल डेफिनेशंस हो सकते हैं, और हमारे तो दो से चार होंगे अपने बीच में, मगर अगर जब कम्युनिटी के पास जाएगा तो हजारों अनगिनत हो सकते हैं। तो दैट इज समथिंग दैट केम आउट ऑफ दैट प्रोसेस। Kalyan, if you would like to add to that.
In fact, Kalyan, this is a good segue into you letting us into what went behind conceptually and intellectually in terms of developing the tool, because जीरो से हमने शुरुआत की, हम 0.1 0.2 पर पहुंचे, और उस जर्नी में ही उभर के आने लग गया कि there is sort of, we are not agreeing on definitions, we are not agreeing, which we all saw as a good thing, right? Because आज जो हम आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करेंगे is a product of a lot of debate and deliberation as well. तो Kalyan, if you could give us a peek into what that process was like in between all of these different iterations.
That's an interesting question. So see, we people are really fond of frameworks, indicators, measurements. So of course, the process began with creating a checklist, a framework. I mean, a tool which can help us assess where we stand today. So the toolkit that you'll see today, has a list of 15 questions categorized under 3 different categories of awareness, response, and measurement. To what extent and how we are aware of climate change and gender intersections, how are we responding to it at the moment, and do we really measure, the work we are doing and its impact as well? And we can call the framework, ARM, ARM, awareness, response, and measurement. So that was the first, the step wherein we come up with this tool, and that tool can be, a guiding instrument to see where we stand today. But then we also felt, just knowing, initial expectation was that, this checklist of questions will also guide us what actions we need to take, because that can come up with the gaps. And knowing gaps will also inform us what actions are required. But then we felt, it's not enough. A lot of us are already doing a lot of work. That work needs to be captured. There are, thinking evolving from different sides of the space, and we also need to capture them. So can we come up with a set of actionable points that one can, start looking at and work on it if they're already not doing some of its work, some of the work mentioned in that list of actionables. So then we come up with a list of 20 actionables, 10 action points under climate change, and 10 action points under gender. And then we also identified some areas where the interactions happen, right, between climate change and gender and the work we are already doing. So, what are those spaces of interactions and how we can intervene into it? And then we also felt, okay, now we have the assessment tool and we have, this conceptual, this list of actionables also, but how are we going to place it? As, Aparna mentioned it in the beginning, how do we really, use a map to cut through? So how could we, develop that map? And I'm really thankful and grateful for, the inputs given by Aparna and everybody in the team on conceptualizing that framework, the conceptual framework. And we used what is at the back end of the framework, the diagram that we saw at the beginning of this conversation on the screen, is the systems thinking. I mean, can we visualize the work that we are doing with reference to climate change and gender, right? From a systems point of view, can we look at it as a system, one system? And easiest way perhaps to understand system is to look at the components of that system, how these components interact with each other, what are their relationships with each other, and why are those relationships shaped in a particular way? I mean, why are the relationships shaped the way they are shaped? And the conceptual framework that you saw at the beginning exactly represents these three things. So it has, four spheres of our work. The first sphere is of natural resources. Second sphere is of life, right? And the overlap of natural resources and life is what all activities we do to make our living possible with the use of natural resources. And then at the vertical side, on the y-axis, there are two components. One is the gender component, how social norms, belief, our negotiation powers, have structured human-to-human relationships. And then there is a layer of governance, which is at the top. So looking at these four components and how these four components are overlap, intersect with each other, and where they intersect are actually the four types of relationships that we have developed over a period of time. We manage our resources, we either allow or restrict access to those resources for sections of society, we distribute income or outputs of that whole activity. So those interactions are mapped, right? And lastly, the four purposes. I mean, why do all of this, right? So the purpose, one is to have better resources, better quality of life, better social norms, and better governance structures. So the whole framework is, structured around four outcomes or four impact areas, four spheres of our work, and how these four spheres of our work interact with each other to, form four type of relationships. So this is how it is conceptually structured. And as a product, you would see three parts of this toolkit. The first part is, of course, the conceptual framework I talked about, then the action points, 10 action points, and lastly, the assessment framework. And, one can imagine it as a circular process, right? I mean, one doesn't really have to start with A, B, and then C. One could start with B, lead to C, go back to A, and, it is a circular process. So it doesn't matter where you would like to start. I mean, one would like to start with assessment questionnaire maybe, then come up to conceptual framework, then action points, revisit it. So yeah, I mean, more than looking at it as a ladder of tools placed vertically, one after the other, I think we should look at it as a circular process, and one can start from wherever they feel is more relevant or more exciting.
Thank you, Kalyan. I think, yeah, thank you for really honing in on that, because I think for both our organizations, it was important to acknowledge that we were very cognizant of where organizations are today and not imposing a process, a pathway, or a judgment on top of that. So, in fact, I would request Nilansha and Sukrit to also speak a little bit to that, because I know that even when you worked on the matrix, which sort of built upon a lot of the inputs that you got from the trust side, you were very mindful of the stages and the choice making that organizations have to progress from, let's say, level one to level two. So, can you talk to us a little bit more about what went behind the creation of that matrix, and also any challenges that you sort of encountered along the way?
So the assessment tool that came from Tata Trust was actually very important for two things. One is to provide depth to our work and also give some sort of a direction to the blue sky thinking that we were doing. तो उस हिसाब से काफ़ी important foundational tool था, and we had a series of internal discussions with Nagma, with Ahmed, और फिर हमने basis this guidance that we received from Tata Trust, we were able to actually develop some sort of a matrix कि वो पूरा जो ecosystem है उसमें organization अपने आप को कैसे identify करेंगी. Sukrit, would you like to elaborate a little?
Yes, in that matrix, we decided that okay, now that the conceptually we are clear, and we also had a guiding document on assessment where we could place where are. So we decided that why not place it in index level so as to have a laddered approach. And for that, we decided that there can be 3 levels: beginner, intermediary, and advanced. And we were very cautious that beginner is not someone who has not done anything on gender or climate, but they are doing it and probably not spotlighting it enough. So we decided that the definition of beginner would be that they are doing it already but need to highlight it more. And then we went on to intermediary, and advanced was something which was little easier, but the most challenging part was on how to put actions specifically in the beginner and intermediary space which are common across all thematic areas, be it organization which identifies itself as working for education or health, and still be able to cover aspects of gender and climate, which they already are, but integrate it and showcase it more liberally or more visually. So that was something that was challenging in identifying those basic steps, and as our guiding principle stated, that the limited resources also. So in that aspect, the work of our own portfolio organizations guided us a lot. We took cues from what we have already been doing, what is it that has been working, and that is how we could place some of the indicators in this matrix. And I would leave it to Nilancha to explain it.
वहाँ से हम एक प्रोसेस ऑफ सिंप्लीफिकेशन में चले गए थे. वी डिसाइडेड कि नाउ दैट वी हैव सम अमाउंट ऑफ डेप्थ एज वेल एज डायरेक्शन, हाउ डू वी simplify and how do we make it useful for of course the organizations that would contribute and participate in the further development of this tool. तो हम लोगों ने थोड़े इंडिकेटर्स हम लोग ने एक छोटा सा रूल ऑफ थंब लिया था कि हमारे कुछ इंडिकेटर्स होंगे, जैसे जो लेवल 1 वाले इंडिकेटर्स हैं वो क्रॉस कटिंग होंगे. Like even if I am not a gender organization, yeah, I am not an organization that focuses on climate action. Suppose I'm an education, an organization that works on education. How do I think about my work from this sort of lens? कि मैं कैसे सोचूं, मैं क्या सवाल पूछने, मैं किस सवालों से मैं start. That was the objective. So एक सवाल हम लोगों को, one of the indicators for example is कि in my current line of work right now, what my organization is doing, मेरे interventions में क्या मैं कुछ marginalized communities या कुछ ऐसे demographic gender demographics के साथ already काम कर रही हूँ? Am I already doing some work with these communities and they are there in my data set, but I have not looked at them closely. So that is one of the ways in which we try to figure out a simple way in which we look. Another question that we thought would be a good idea to ask was कि अगर मैं कर रही हूँ, if I'm an education organization and I'm working with women or girl child, or even with the trans community, gender spectrum में different लोगों के साथ, तो क्या मैं segregate कर सकती हूँ ये data? Can I segregate this data? And then क्या मैं थोड़ा सा closely देख सकती हूँ कि मेरा impact, मेरा जो intervention है, उसका कुछ positive impact है क्या इन communities के ऊपर? So that is just, beginning of a reflection exercise, and it is sort of a simple way. So अहमद ने हमको ये tool develop करने में काफ़ी मदद की थी, जिसमें हमने थोड़ा सा इसको gamification करने की कोशिश की. प्रीत, आप थोड़ा climate वाला बात करना चाहेंगे?
So I'll give example of 2 climate indicators, because although it's impacting everyone, but sometimes we just not capture it directly. For example, even if we are going to schools, are there issues of heat wave? Are you affected by floods? So even if your organization is directly or indirectly supporting these issues, then yes, you are working on climate aspects also. Another question that we thought that would be common would be to understand the groups that we work across, be it farmers or pastoralists or migrant workers, because every one of them would be affected by climate. So if we are working with these groups, then yes, we identify as working on climate action specifically.
थोड़ा सा मैं ये मैं तुम हम आप us and you वाली बात करना चाहूँगी because what was our thinking? Was it something that we as donors would send it to our partners as part of the proposal कि अब आप लीजिए और इसमें ticks मारिए cross मारिए, or was it something that we wanted as a tool to enable reflection and self-reflection? So can you all actually speak very briefly about this before we transition to the last part of this conversation?
Definitely a self-reflection. That was the beginning that we started with, that we reflect on where we are. And as also mentioned by Kalyan, that it's still a work in progress document. So right now we are reflecting, we are all reflecting together, and then it will progress towards a final toolkit.
मेरे ख्याल से दिस वाज अ फर्स्ट स्टेप टुवर्ड्स क्राउडसोर्सिंग विजडम. तो हमने कुछ वी आर पुटिंग समथिंग इन द यूनिवर्स आउट देयर इन फ्रंट ऑफ आवर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस. It is definitely not prescriptive. In fact, it is something that needs to that has to go through multiple stages of evolution. And what we are doing is we are inviting the our colleagues here, our peers at here, to participate. तो जितना पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे और जितना क्रिटिकल फीडबैक हमको मिलेगा, आई थिंक उतना ये टूल इवॉल्व होगा और यूजफुल होगा. सो दिस इज लाइक स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट, एंड यहाँ से फिर हम सब पार्टिसिपेट करें और इसको बेहतर बनाने में समथिंग दैट पीपल कैन यूज and they find it useful. It's not just another checklist that they cross off.
Kalyan, if I can add one question for you as well as you respond, कि आपने हमसे ARM की बात की, उसमें एक टूल किट है, एक actionable set of interventions हैं. Where do we go from there? If we are inviting our CSO colleagues to participate, to engage and to give feedback, can we give them some more specific information about what is it that we are seeking in terms of feedback?
Sure. So, see, I mean, this is a work in progress. I would rather say, this is a beginning. As Aparna said, it's no longer just whispering about climate change or gender integration in our work, but it has become so much, part of the mainstream discussion. And I'm sure a lot of us are talking about it, at our own levels and with each other as well. So this is an attempt to articulate that thinking. In systems terminology, we call it, refining and reproducing mental models. So this is a mental model of few people who have worked on it. Right? And of course, there are more mental models and there are more, understandings of these issues, and we need to expand this mental model to become, to make it a shared mental model, to make it a shared understanding. So in that sense, it's just the beginning, and it's articulation of thoughts and ideas and reflections of those who have worked on it, right? But it can definitely, it needs to go beyond that and gather more insights and more input. One is, of course, we need to think about this whole exercise and framework more critically to get the critical feedback. So reflecting on, as I said, there are 10 action points, but they are not they are action areas, and each action area can have, multiple activities, right? And again, there are gender. So the one thing is, these action points are still categorized into climate actions and gender actions, and we have identified some overlaps, but even all those climate actions can have gender as an integral, component to it, and vice versa also. So looking at this whole framework critically and reflecting on that is something which we all need to do together. Second thing, as Paresh, our colleague from Tata Trust, who's been part of this process throughout, he always reminds of making things contextual. So I think the next set of input that is required or in this framework or this exercise is applying this framework to the specific context in which we are working. Here we talked about the four spheres of our work and how they interact with each other. So I think we need to reflect on what kind of human to human interactions, what kind of human to nature interactions, what kind of nature to human interactions are taking place in our context and in our work. Right? Doesn't matter whether we are in education space, health space, nutrition, natural resource management, livelihood, what sort of human to human interactions, human to nature interactions, and how nature to human interactions are also taking place and taking shape in that context. So contextualizing this framework and articulating our work in the form of those interactions, how these pairs actually interact with each other, is, I think, very, very important, because this is just a map, right? And we really need to understand the nuances of the processes which are taking place at the grassroots. And once we understand those processes, maybe the next step could be putting our collective wisdom together and forming maybe a compendium of those interactions that we would like to, change, transform, make them better. So understanding those interactions and documenting them, I think, is very important. Third thing is we also need to look at how are we going to operationalize this framework, right? I mean, looking at the how part of it, basically shaping these interactions. So we have talked about access, resource management, enabling participation, and equitable distribution of resources. So what strategies are we using currently? How are we making these things happen where they have been successful? And what are the gaps where we can chip in and make these interactions more efficient, more productive? And I'm sure there are a lot of learnings, a lot of experiences all of us have in the room. So we need to reflect on it, articulate it, and share it with each other so that we can expand this framework and make it more, actionable, or, so those are my three quick reflections on it. Yeah.
And I think I speak on behalf of all of us, those of us who were involved in developing this, that we also want you to challenge us to be more transformative in our thinking, in the concepts that you'll see in this toolkit, because as practitioners engaging with communities and perhaps seeing signs of social change in your day-to-day work, you perhaps have a wider imagination of what these intersections look like than what you see in the toolkit. So I think this is an invitation to everyone here in the room to engage. Like I think Aparna was sharing with us yesterday that this is a story. हम आपके सामने स्क्रिप्ट लाए हैं, पिक्चर अभी बनना बाकी है, तो आप सबसे गुजारिश है कि इस टूल को पढ़ें, एंगेज करें. आई थिंक in the next few weeks, if I'm not wrong, you will have access to printed copies, online versions of the tool. And if I can invite Sukrit and Nilansha to talk about what avenues you have to reach out in case you have any questions, you have feedback. So Edelgive Foundation is anchoring that process of helping you and absorbing the feedback. So just a quick word on where can people reach out?
You will be getting the printed copies of the tools in your goodie bags today. So goodie. And, but also you will be receiving some online information as well. When you have some critical feedback, we have a help desk where you can send in your feedback, and we will reach out to you on your queries and actually engage with you on the process. We are really looking forward to getting as much critical feedback as possible. This is, at the end of the day, a participatory exercise. It will be as good as the people participating in it. So yeah, and in case you have any doubts about how to reach out, so Preeta and I are here, so is Ahmed. You can definitely reach out to us and we can guide you.
Thank you so much. Aparna, Nagma, may I invite you to? Thank you so much for being such a patient audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much.